Coming back to the virtual event of today, the theme of this year's Indian Digital Excellence Awards and Conclave is scaling new heights. And rightly so, friends. During the last 2 years of COVID, we have witnessed the rise of digital marketing as one of the key measures for the businesses to survive and grow in the new normal. In fact, year 2020 saw a big shift in the way people consumed information, witnessing a considerable rise in the number of app downloads globally. Good news for digital marketing agencies indeed, but it also means that with people becoming more accustomed to the digital platforms, the more discerning they will be. So this conclave today brings together marketeers from various domains to share their knowledge, debate, and learn from each other's experiences. From getting creative and building new ways of digital relationships with customers to effectively landing new prospects and nurturing existing relationships for lead generations, as also how to push the envelope in content strategy and how to find perfect middle ground between cracking client briefs and achieving huge organic reach with massive viral results. Yes, we will be discussing it all right here. So without further ado, let's begin the Realty Plus Indian Digital Excellence Awards Virtual Conclave 2022. And let me also remind you once again, do not forget to join us tomorrow for Realty Plus Idea Awards 2022, starting 4 p.m., felicitating the good work, good organizations, and the individuals in the field of marketing that is digital. So for today, let's begin with the e-conclave with the first session of the day on the topic digital marketing, the craft of making the most of online presence. The session will be chaired by Mr. Srinivasan Subramanian, Executive Director, Koncept Ambience. With over 25 years experience in the field of marketing and communication, Srinivasan Subramanian has worked in the Middle East with TBWA. Currently, he's part of the top management at Concept Ambience, which is the developers, and earlier Srinivasan was with SNN Builders as CEO and contributed for the brand's growth in Bangalore. Srinivasan likes to connect and collaborate with people interested in advertising, communication, and marketing. So this is our moderator of the session. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Subramanian. And now let me introduce our speakers in an alphabetical order. I welcome our speaker, Ankit Saraf, founder Meraqi Digital. Ankit has more than 11 years of experience working with leading marketing agencies in London and with international brands. In 2016, he started Meraqi, a full-service digital agency in Eastern India. Ankit brings in technical knowledge, pitching expertise, and technical skills at Meraqi and has worked for both international and national clients. Our next panel member, I introduce Mr. Fanindra Jain, founder and digital creative head at Shreyansh Innovations. With more than 15 years of rich experience, Fanindra hails from the Classic School of Marketing and Communications. As an advertising writer, he brings a unique advantage to digital creativity, and his earlier professional stints were as senior writer with JWT Creative Group, head McCann Bangkok, and as creative director at TBWA Vietnam. Our next panel member, I introduce Mr. Govind, co-founder Insomniacs Blueprint and RealtyX. Govind has over 10 years of experience in real estate consulting with wide array of services. He has helped brands optimize their media costs by focusing on digital media, and his company Insomniacs is the only agency in India which specializes in automated marketing, mix modeling for real estate to drive best ROI for his clients with the help of data analytics, AI, and machine learning. Our next eminent panel member, let me introduce Mr. Mukesh Bharadwaj, co-founder and CEO Oyemarketer. Mukesh Bharadwaj, with more than a decade of experience, leads a team of young enthusiasts who are crazy for anything digital, be it social media optimization, search engine marketing, or web designing, or anything digital. The company works with real estate channel partners and builders to fulfill their advertising needs and make real estate business grow by making use of their expertise. Our next and final member is Mr. Samrat Tiwari, Director Webzaa. Samrat Tiwari heads Webzaa, an independent modern digital agency formed by professionals who have more than a decade of experience in digital arena. He believes in solving real-world problems using technology and marketing. Webzaa's in-house design studio creates customized solutions for brands in addition to providing services from lead generation, social media optimization, and search engine optimization to web design and development and video creation. So this is our eminent experts for this discussion. Mr. Subramanian, let me hand it over to you now to carry forward the conversation.
Thank you, Sapna. Really appreciate for inviting all of us. As I had already sent out a mail to all the panelists, this is one of the most, I think, experienced and elite panel with a huge background in digital. And I'm sure by the end of the day, each one of you will definitely carry home something and then try to do whatever you guys are doing. It will try to help you to enhance. Basically, because I am one of the fortunate media arts and advertising background guy who witnessed the big evolution of communication and marketing. I still remember early days of, from a black and white 20:3 bromides to color separations, which was sent to Singapore to fetch to Bahrain, and dominant of print, TVC, cinema ads, to sampling events, to direct marketing efforts, and of course, now to shift to the complete new age digital revolution. So I'm one of the fortunate ones, because I always believe that if you're a media arts and advertising person, you should keep on evolving yourself to whatever is happening around you. And then only then you can catch up with all these youngsters and then try to package whatever you're doing and come out with something really great solutions. To start with, the whole plethora of digital options sometimes confuses the marketeers, where to put their money, when they should plan their marketing strategies. Everyone's standard question is, why do we need to focus on so many different digital marketing strategies? And the list of questions is endless. And you guys have faced all these things throughout in your experience, because from the profile of all you guys, I see that you all have either co-founded or maybe a CEO or one of the top level things. To start with, I'll pose my first question to Fanindra. He is the digital creative head with Shreyansh Innovations with agency background. And he is ex-TBWA also. He had worked in various agencies, but he has got some amazing experience in terms of being one of the disruption policy of TBWA. I'm sure that Fanindra will just help us sort out a few of the questions. Fanindra, since we both are from the house of disruptors, we always believe that doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results to come out is definitely an insanity. So we first creatively disrupt, then we connect with our target audience. I just want to know that with so much of fragmentation happening in the media front, the digital being the front runner, I still remember print and outdoor used to be kind of a tactical and the rest others used to be digital. Now the whole thing has reversed. People don't even advertise in Times of India. They focus more in digital. So I just wanted to ask, as I feel most of the developers tend to put a happy family by the poolside and a picnic basket and expect results to happen. So creatively, what should all the real estate guys do? I know that tell all truth is the right approach, but that's not happening because I'm with SNN for the past 12 years. So with your experience, you might have definitely worked with a couple of real estate companies. If you can tell us how we should approach this I request all the panelists to be crisp and short so that everybody gets a fair chance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srini. Thank you for just kind of summarizing where we are with the state of your digital marketing for real estate. So my thoughts on creative for social media and creative for digital. I think real estate is approached not with a long-term mindset of brand building, right? It is done to quickly get sales for a project, for a particular project. And that project could span for a period of 2 years. If 80% is sold over a period of 2 years, then that's the period of the campaign, right? And because real estate is not a frequent purchase, there are three digital objectives primarily for a campaign, right? It's awareness, penetration, and remarketing. So for all of these digital objectives, I think the creative should be true to platform and true to the objective. Because a consumer is in a very different mindset when he is on LinkedIn. He's in a very different mindset when he's on Instagram. He's in a very different mindset when he's looking at videos on YouTube, right? So it flows. I mean, the content or the creative needs to flow from the digital objective, then the platform, and then the creative. I mean, if you go that route, then that's the right way to approach what creativity will be on digital. Overall, all communication needs to have a strong, big idea or a campaign idea, the way it brings out the emotion and humanizes the brand or the product. So I think that will never die. That will never fade away. That will always be there. That's how it always has to be approached.
Okay, thank you, Fanindra. Just let me move on to Mukesh. I think again, he has got a real estate firm which takes care of, a digital firm which takes care of the real estate part of it. In real estate, how much time will we need to be invested to help digital marketing effort or improve my Google rankings? How often do we need to evaluate this in this overdosed digital world? How can I help track the progress and return on investment of my digital campaign, and how to improve that if my campaign is not producing results? So how do I evaluate that? I know that on a daily basis, everybody is doing this. If you can just throw some light on this, it would help the audience. Thank you. You're muted, Mukesh.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Srinivasan ji. In digital marketing, the best part is whenever we feel like if something is not working, we can change it. So in digital marketing, the ROI earlier, like few years back, the 10x ROI was not a big deal, but now there's too much competition. There are competition between CPs, there are competition between CPs and builders. So now the ROI generating from 5x to 10x is a big deal. So if you are campaigning something and something is not working, we can change it in like 15 days, 7 days is like trial. If something is not working, we can keep changing it. It's not like this is not predefined if you are running campaign.
Thank you very much. You have anything more to say, Mukesh ji?
And yeah, you asked about the online presence, how much time it takes for ranking. So it depends on SEO and our competition. At least we should give 3 months for to see results in SEO, search engine optimization.
Okay, I just want to say also that this entire experience is, since everybody is involved in digital, it's not just restricted to real estate. We talk about overall the digital platform, how does it help every marketeers from the different verticals. So I'm posing my next question to Ankit. You have associated with some of the famous brands in FMCG, entertainment, King of Beers, and growing legacies for Sanjeev Goenka. So you have a huge experience with a wide variety of brand representation you have done. Please tell us, with numerous marketing strategy options to adopt, how does a marketer decide and adopt a strategy that will make his brand and product stand out? And what are the key considerations and what are the common mistakes the brand custodians make when developing a digital marketing strategy? Over to you, Ankit.
Just 1 second. Yeah, I hope you can hear me. And thank you for the question.
Please.
So I personally believe in working with a lot of brands. There is no one size fits all, and each industry, brand, product, or service, the marketing completely differs. Of course, being in the field, we've all been in the field for so many years, so we of course have our own expertise in terms of what we think might work for a brand, and that's where we go in. But I believe for any brand in the beginning, it's about unlearning and unlearning to learn. Particularly, you need to unlearn what you have learned, and then basically look at how you can do it for the particular brand. And everything you try might not work. That's what I think Mukesh also pointed out, that you have to change things 7 days, 15 days, or whatever is not working, you can change. So to be very honest, there is no particular strategy that you can follow for a particular brand. Of course, with our expertise, we come in that this is what might work, but of course, at times that doesn't, because each product differs. And I personally feel that we all need to experiment for some time, and we'll see common trends as to what is working and what is not working, and that's how we decide what brand strategy should be. And once we kind of see what is working in particular for that particular brand or service, then we kind of put our money on that end, and we invest our content efforts into that end. Some common mistakes what I think that brand owners or marketers when developing their digital marketing strategy make is, a lot of times we don't put ourselves in the TG shoes, even though that's what we tell clients about. And that's what we suffer most of the time, that what happens is we think that whether we like it or not, and whether the client will like it or not. But at the end of it, we have to think from a audience perspective. And more often than not, a lot of times what happens is we discount ideas even before we try it. So that's something that I personally believe, that there is no idea. Everyone probably concur that there is no bad idea. Even some ideas which take you 2 minutes to think are actually really good ideas. So that's one thing. And of course, the other thing is, as marketers, as clients, we get really impatient and we're not consistent. So, a lot of times clients come to us and they tell us that, we've done something, we've done it for 1 month, 2 months, we're not seeing results. Let's cancel this and let's start from scratch again. Whereas we've also seen that clients are consistent for 3 or 6 months, they often see results. So being consistent is really key, and not getting impatient is there, of course. So yeah.
I really love the way you said the impatience. The impatience and the sleepless nights are born with the marketeers and the ad guys, I think so. And the sip of coffee you just now had relieves you a bit, but overall, I think so. You have summed it up very nicely. The next person I'm going to ask a question is Mr. Govind. He is co-founder of Insomniacs, Blueprint, Realty 4000. He has done some 4,800 crore sales, he had made them achieve it. I think really bravo for somebody to do that. I think he deserves a big appreciation in whatever he is doing, and then definitely share with us how he made that. At least let people make at least 10-20% of that, they would be very happy. So welcome, Mr. Roy, and sometime you should think about moving to Bangalore, do a startup. Maybe, you have a partner sitting just opposite to you. You can come to me and ask for it, and then let's do something great in Bangalore as well. So the question I have is, since you are the only company that has specialized in automated marketing mix modeling for real estate to get the best ROI, and you help your clients with the data analytics and AI and machine learning, tell us more on this front, because it's very new as far as real estate is concerned. Still, people prefer to put that full page ad and expect some 1,000 calls to come, and then 20% of it should be footfall and 10% should be converted, which is not happening these days. And if you can tell these new techniques, how it can benefit all the real estate, because Realty Plus is focusing on that. I know that there are other brands also listening to this webinar. So please throw some light on that so we all can be benefited, including me.
Sure, sir. Srinivasan, first thing, we are already in Bangalore, so I will definitely come there whenever I'm visiting my Bangalore office. So
love you, man. When can I move in then?
You're free to move in anytime, sir. And coming back to the question that you asked for. So, sir, unlike other panelists here who are very smart and they know a lot in the digital space across all the ecosystems and FMCG, I unfortunately knew only one vertical where I grew in, which is real estate. So whatever knowledge I could acquire in digital space, I started imparting to the same. The only difference between other platforms or agencies or us that we tried to create was we wanted to focus more on the ROI side. As Mukesh mentioned, when he was talking about 10x ratios, I believe these are the parameters we use majorly for the e-commerce, right? 1:10 returns when we are able to give. In real estate, our simple thumb rule is 1:50. we have to give a 50x return on every 1 rupee that we spend. Then only, which is a basically 2% acquisition cost for inventory that we are selling. So with that thumb rule, we have to operate. And when we started, it was only about giving leads, but we realized that, real estate is a very different mechanism than e-commerce. E-commerce, you have data points when you add to cart and then you purchase. These are the 2 data points that you have to look at. In real estate, there are 4 data points that comes in. One at the level of lead, the second when we call them and qualify it, third when the customer site visits, when they do the repeat site visits, and then the booking. Between these 4 to 5 points, there are amazing amount of data that comes onto the table. Now, typically when you said the real estate developers were only focusing upon print, so that was truth. That was the fight that we had to fight to make them aware that, there is so much of beauty in the data that is coming from the digital side. And because of that, we could get into predictive analytics. So that was the first step we entered into, where we started predicting the future, the prospect of every money that you're burning, where we can lead to. Of course, there are multiple variables which affect a particular campaign. That is for the other day. But we could somewhere get there where, we could predict a few things. And from there, we started learning about marketing mix modeling, which is a very simple fundamental model for FMCG guys. They use it. And the idea was we try to learn it from the best of the teams which are present in US, in Bangalore. And we learned from them that, how we could adapt it to real estate use case. And on that basis, we developed our own technology core where once the lead enters, their whole journey could be mapped. And all against these data points, we could, do simulations where we can understand how and where we focus on in a particular real estate market so that we can get the best results. So this is the overall journey that we have had taken, sir. And the only difference is the number is not 4,800, it is 14,800 crore worth of inventory that we have mobilized across Pan India, where the brands are DLF or a Prestige there or a Hiranandani or Adani. So these are the brands we have mobilized and help their inventory movement. So yeah, there we go.
Thank you. See, the thing is, what you said is very interesting actually, because I was with S&M before, prior to joining Koncept, and we had a good gentleman called Gururaj. He always used to say, sir, no need of printer. So the management felt very happy because a full page in Times of India cost 13 lakhs.
Absolutely.
So we encouraged digital, though the site guys never liked it. And the same thing is repeated here in Koncept Ambience, where another great gentleman, Sridhar, is working. And he also strongly believes, though he is a hardcore marketing guy, he believes that print should be slowly, I'm not saying eliminate it. You can't eliminate print from the scene. And, you can see even, brands like Prestige, they are subtly present even at least in the classified page. So we need to really evaluate, because print is going to, digital is going to be the next in thing. There is no two ways about it. But for people to accept the mindset, particularly from the site level, is always very, very kind of restricted. They always say 80% of the lead is junk and only 20% is good enough. So we need to live with this, but maybe with all your AI and data analytics and other things, I think we can work out a better thing. Maybe whenever you are here, I would appreciate maybe a few of the marketeers, I get them through, because I believe in conducting disruption workshops. Maybe both of us should conduct for some of the builders and make them understand that digital is the new in thing, and it's going to be a complete takeover in terms of how we spend our media spends. Thank you, Govind. And next speaker is Mr. Tiwari. He owns Webzaa, a lead gen, social media SEO optimization to web design to production of video. I think he hasn't left anything unattended. Maybe he should also visit Bangalore for sure. Mr. Tiwari, I just wanted to ask you, at Webzaa, you guys provide solutions in all fronts. On the web design side, I want to ask you, because this is one area where I feel, when I was in S&M, now with Koncept also, that it's not being done the way it should be done, because options for web design software has got too many choices like WordPress, Webflow, Wix, Adobe, Dreamweaver, Weebly for e-com, and so on. Yes, it's great sometimes, but confusing as well. How do we evaluate which one to go for? And also, please share your thoughts on the hosting area in this age of cloud computing. And are these options have any significant vertical wise advantage, like one is too good for FMCG, another one is too good for entertainment, and the other one is for real estate, automotive, or entertainment, because this is a total digital platform? Over to you.
Yeah, hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the introduction, sir. And coming back, yeah, so we have tried to, though we started with performance, as you said, that we have tried to get into all the shoes and all the aspects of digital, but that was primarily the requirement that we actually got from the clients. We started with performance, wherein lead gen was the thing that we wanted to get into. Because of the prior experience and the knowledge that we had in infrastructure, technology, and digital for that matter. But then eventually when we started to work with clients wanted to have a one-stop shop, and they didn't want to talk to multiple vendors and talk to multiple people. That actually eases out everyone's job, and it's good for us as well. So because we are also on the organic side, because a lot of digital marketing firm does not understand the impact of being on the organic side of the brand as well, not only on the inorganic aspect. So that actually held us being on having an upper edge, you can say, on the digital marketing, and precisely as Govind said, fortunately or unfortunately, I also belong to the real estate fraternity for almost more than a decade now, and it's been a very good journey till now. So coming back to the question, sir. Ideally that calls generally is taken care by my CTO, but then because it's more to do with technology, and I'm more of a marketing guy. But when it comes to that, I actually there are a lot of factors that we should intake further to take a decision on it. Like for example, whether it's a product based website or it's a brand based website, whether it is an e-commerce site or it is just an information driven site. Whether it's a multi-pager site or a landing page, which is just a single pager where we would just want to, the goal is purely to generate leads, or the goal is just to generate traffic. So there are multiple aspects that we should be first taking in consideration before we take a call on which technology to go for. Every technology has their own ifs and buts and pros and cons to work with. And also the most important thing is understanding the service nature of a website. For example, I'll have to draw parallels with automobile. For example, if anyone wants to start or anyone wants to take his first car, everyone prefers to have a Maruti because of the two aspects. Because Maruti is easy to drive, and one can easily, and at the same time it is not that costly. And at the same time, the services are being given by even a local garage, right? So the technology that we choose should be should be in a way which is scalable, and at the same time it has been there for a while, and you have a lot of people to work with. So even if you part ways with a vendor, you don't have to part ways with your website, right? Because that is your digital asset, and that's your digital office, I would say, on the internet. And you cannot keep on changing it on and off. You can always constantly work towards scaling it to the next level, not changing it. So that is one of the important calls, while choosing a technology one should keep in mind. Over and above that, hosting is now in the age of cloud computing. There are a lot of people to the likes of IBMs and even Accentures, and a lot of people are offering cloud computing services, even GoDaddy for that matter. And so it depends on the kind of infrastructure that you want to host it, host on, and also the kind of goal. Like for example, if it's a purely performance driven goal and you don't want your website to be down even for a second, because every second you're putting some penny out of Google searches or Facebook marketing or affiliate marketing that you're doing using that website. So it is very important that you work with a server which has more than 99% or close to 100%, upway where they completely claim that it's up. And we work with Amazon Web Services, and we've got a decent good response out of it, and we have always marketed and blabbered about it because it gives that kind of service. So so that is something that one should keep in mind while hosting. So all of these is, so generally if you're making a website, it requires a good amount of consulting, I would say, before we choose on the technology and the hosting that we want to go ahead with. so that it can be kept with a vision that you are making the website. Generally, a brand website is always made with a vision of for a long term, rather than a landing page which is made with a vision of 2 years or 3 years, because that is generally a life cycle of a landing page or of a product or a real estate product. So all of these are important aspects that one should keep in mind before taking a call on a technology as well as or on the cloud hosting front.
Thank you. One of the questions normally I put to my team is that some of the customers complain that certain of the pages don't work, or maybe the website is very slow. Is there any particular reason for that, or how do we negate that issue?
So there are a lot of on-page. So that is generally taken on the digital parlance. It is on-page optimization that should be taken care. So when we do that, what happens is there are a lot of things that has. So if it's a multi-pager website, like let's say we are envisioning or we are visioning a website which is a corporate website which has a home page, about us page, it has a project page, it has a listing page, like to the likes of any portal or an aggregator. So in that pages, what happens is there are a lot of content and data, and every page should have a structure. It should have a header, it should have a title, it should be followed by a specific SOP. There is an SOP that it has to follow while we are creating it. So the page load, if it is loading low, there can be multiple reasons. It can be whether because the images are very heavily put there, they have not been compressed considering the kind of product that we are actually creating. Second is whether the hosting is up to the mark with respect to the website. Like for example, the kind of hosting that we have taken does not suffice. So we are living with a family of 20 people in a 1 RK. It'll always be a kind of situation where everyone is feeling the suffocation. So that is something that has to be taken care while we are doing the on-page optimization. So all of these are important things that has to be taken care while creating those, or what probably while doing an audit. So we generally do an audit before we take up any website for anything, and then we take a call and give the recommendations to the customers. Basis on that, then we take up the work.
Thank you. Really appreciate. So let me do a bit of a disruption here instead of going back to Fanindra and then go in that order. I'm going to pick up at random some of the guys so that they can feel nice to that they have been included earlier. And let me go to Ankit. And Ankit, could you please let me know? We all know that today a single-minded approach to digital marketing will exclude large portions of an audience, preventing a site from remaining competitive. Digital marketing must be a comprehensive approach that focuses on site optimization, social media, lead generation, inbound marketing, content creation, and much more. Are there any other planned process for this? Are we missing out anything in this list? Can you elaborate and a little bit more in terms of how people should benefit, the digital marketeers? Over to you.
So, like I pointed out in my very first question you'd asked me, there is no, of course, the single-eyed thought or single-minded thought in terms of the idea is there, but there is no focus on a particular digital marketing strategy. Of course, traditional digital marketing strategies, which were there even before digital came in, they still stand in place, whether it's the various funnels, whether it's the IDA approach or these things, they still are there. But in terms of, preventing a site from remaining competitive or comprehensive approach, that focus on site optimization. For digital, the thing is, everything needs to kind of work in tandem. There is no particularly, was what I pointed out before, there's no particular one size fits all approach. It needs to be tailor-made to the particular brand or the service that is being offered. For example, in the case of real estate, like Samrat pointed out, of course, there's landing pages which work beautifully when it's real estate. Then there is the whole thought around how do you optimize your conversions, and how do you do, say, for example, in real estate, drip feed email marketing works really well. So how do you look at these things in terms of not just looking at one particular digital marketing strategy, but focusing on different things that work for that particular brand or that particular skill set?
Thank you, man. Let me go to Fanindra now. Fanindra, in the digital arena, there are a deluge of content being thrown at an average consumer. They are confused. They don't know which one to buy, be it FMCG, or be it travel options, or be it an entertainment or a trip to somewhere, or buying a home, which is the eventual thing. So I just wanted to know, what are the creative strategies that one needs to adopt to ensure that content is visible or engages the consumer in proper way, so the decision making is made much more easier to the advantage of the consumers.
I think,
Over to you, Fanindra.
yeah, thank you, Srini. I think, going back to the days where digital was fairly, like digital marketing or digital content was fairly catching on. At that time, clients used to come back and ask us that, give me a viral idea. Give me an idea that will go viral. Give me a video that will go viral. So I think in that sense, a digital, the currency is still when you share content around, and when the content is catching on and everybody is seeing that piece of content, that's when it's creating a noise. That's when it's creating an impact. That's when it's creating, that's when it's effective. So I think humanizing, storytelling, adding emotion, and creating something that that will catch on. Even though the campaign idea can be a certain idea for mainline, how do you extend that into digital storytelling? When you've gotten that right in terms of entertaining or engaging or making someone cry or making someone laugh. I mean, it's the same tenets of communication. And back to those days where we used to think that, will this go viral? I mean, I think that still remains true. That's how a creative will be effective.
Thank you, man. Okay, I'll get back to Mukesh ji now. Mukesh ji, could you please tell us, since your company portfolio has some builders, CPs and builders and CPs, I think you guys are working on that. CPs are getting more aggressive these days in terms of their spend, not those days where they used to have only, depending on relationship. It has moved to the next platform to get leads. To an extent, online portals help them to achieve this. Basically, because there is a complaint between the builder and the CPs that the moment builder spend is that some of the leads are passed on to CPs within minutes also. So how do you really overcome this in terms of allocating the budget? Can we ask them to come together, and then so that there is a proper spend in terms of how we plan our media budgets? Because digital is taking over now. Even if you go to see the search engines option also, some of the builders are suffering because CPs get the priority in terms of coming on top. The builder's website is way below 4, 5, 6. In addition to this, if they are spending and getting more leads, how do we really try to sort out? This is actually one of the questions which we are facing at Koncept, as well as Nitin Agarwal used to face at SNN also. So it went on to a level that Nitin wanted to even stop advertising in magic breaks. Can you throw some light on this, please?
Yeah, thank you, Srini. This is right. At this moment in the market, like this is happening, CPs are spending more than builders. Like each single CP is spending more than builders. And what happened is, builder is running like CPs. All CPs are online. They are mostly using Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, and the builder is on the same platform. So what happened is, like, they are creating competition between them. There's the cost per acquisition is increasing for the same project. So my thought is, like, if they work on like hand in hand, like if the builder focuses on the same, like let's say builder is focusing on offline marketing, hoardings or TV ads or like radio ads, and the everything else will be handled by channel partners, because the channel partners are the one who's driving sales. Like the for instance, if take any project, if the channel partners are not working, the project would at least take 2 years to sell out. If there are channel partners and builders have good relation with the channel partners, it would take hardly 2 months to like sold out. So the channel partners are the one who's driving sales. So I would think builders should not like spend much on digital platform. They would more into like radio, TV, paper ad, newspaper ad, so that like both should work together like hand in hand.
Thank you, Mukesh. No, the only question is, have you ever come across a case study where a builder and a couple of channel partners have come together and they've decided to do such a spend split in terms of I spend in digital, you spend in above the line media. So wherever the digital leads are coming, I will try to work it out. Wherever you get your leads, you work it out with your sales team. As any case study has happened in your case?
There are some builders who are already doing it. Like they are not spending at all on digital marketing. They're only on hoardings and paper ads. And they're big names. Like even though like the builders like Shapoorji Pullenji, Godrej, they spend less in digital marketing comparatively. And CPs are spending more.
Thank you, Mukesh ji. Let me go to the most successful person, Mr. Govind Rai. Sir, could you please tell us, you're also engaged in real estate consulting again, with some of the best brands. Tell us the pros and cons of this trend of appointing mandate agencies, guys from the developers, leave and establish a startup here in Bangalore. It has happened big time. Some of the bigger brands like Purvankara and other companies, people leave them and start their own mandate agencies. And these firms plan marketing campaigns for the developer and replace the sales and CRM teams of the developers in-house sales team. What's your take on this? Also, there is a perception that there are two parts. There is a perception that digital marketing is not very effective amongst the target audience of properties worth 3 crore plus, though I feel it is not the right approach. What's your take on these, since you have plenty of real estate clients in your portfolio? Mr. Roy.
Sure, sir. So number one thing, sir, I believe the question was with mandate companies. I believe they are the future. No matter how much ever criticism that we would want to give to them, they are the future. Because anything which is optimizing cost,
love you, man.
Any core value proposition for real estate developer, the core value proposition is making a build. Everything else is an ancillary support that they're trying to drive the machinery into, and some set of professionals who are coming and taking away that job and doing it much more cost-effective manner. That thing is bound to get a success. So whatever criticism it may be there, wait for 5 years. Every developers will have to export it, because internationally also that is the format that has eventually just evolved into. India was the only country where the real estate developers were all rounders. They will bat, they will ball, they'll keep the wickets. But now they've realized that their job is to just go there and hit some sixes. Rest all the things other guys can take care of it. So mandate companies are going to be the future. Without doubt about it. We have done all the maths around it because we had to change our business model. Our business model was about real estate developers before. Now we have tweaked our technology, our offerings to suit the mandate business. And fortunately, all the big mandate guys, be it a Guardian or a Xanadu, or in Bangalore, we have very beautiful client called Flow Reality. We are working with them continuously to make their journey better. The second question that you asked, we were discussing with regards to brokers. Now, between the mandate companies and brokers, these alignments are very much happening, where the mandate companies are saying that, hey, let me get the developer budget towards all the other part of the mediums. Digitally, how much money do you need? Let me pump it to you so that I can deduct it from your brokerage. I'll give you some advances. So this kind of system has started coming in place, because they know if the developer is spending and the broker is also spending, it's going to take the CPLs higher. It's futile competition. So the mandate companies are coming in and smartly able to take care of these things. They are fueling the growth of the CPs by ensuring they get an advance and they get deducted later. But eventually the goal is reached. For a broker also, for a developer also, the goal is, or the mandate company also, the goal is sales. So that's how everybody is coming in tandem. The third thing that you asked with regards to the luxury properties. So I'll be honest, till 2019, when a client used to come with not 3 CR, but anything above 4 CR, we used to treat it with a word of caution. So let us try. But after 2019, the kind of trends that have been seen and the few media platforms or programmatic, the way it has emerged, and the way we have gone about dealing things. Last year, we had around 54 odd bookings across Bombay, specifically here, where we had inventory worth 10 CR was sold via digital campaign of ours. The only problem was in the real estate luxury segment is we have to calculate the CAC, which is a customer acquisition cost. Now, for a 3 CR property, the customer acquisition cost with a thumb rule of 2% is already sitting at the higher value, right? So, which is, let's say, you have to go about burning the first 10 lakh without looking for a single sale. Now, a lot of people do not have that guts. They do not have that long-term vision. They get jittery the moment the first 2-3 lakhs are not performing. And that's the reason a lot of people have not seen the success in that space. But if you're going to look at a long-term value proposition, you go for a 20-30 odd lakhs with a 10 inventory in mind, you will definitely succeed. And we have had multiple such case studies where, clients about 2.5, 3 CR, they have sold around 40 to 50% of their inventories via digital. So that's where we go, sir.
Thank you, man. Maybe, whenever you are passing by Bangalore, please meet me since you have convinced me. Maybe, Ambience downtown and Nitin's Clement, we will try to give it to you guys so that you guys can work on that. And tell me something about this broker network, the new company by Rahul Yadav, which has come up. I want you to be very crisp in saying, because these are the people who are coming big time in Bangalore. Some of the people are nervous, and some of the people, because it's a bigger company and they come and have discussed so many things. I just want you to crisply finish this so that I can go to Samrat with my final question, and then I will close it off with my statement, because it's already 1 o'clock. Sapna and Tripti are very, very strict about timings. So be crisp on that.
Sure, sir. So broker network, they're trying to own the distribution network of the real estate, right? Which is a very important network in a way if you really look at it. Nobody has tried to do it at this scale. We got to keep in mind, Rahul Yadav comes with a pedigree of building housing, though whichever way, he was not a great businessman then. But with Anarok, he learned about the transaction journey, right? So I'm definitely not taking him lightly on this stride of it, right? And I'm pretty sure this time business-wise, he's got his thing right. From what I've heard, his intent is not just to own the distribution play, but actually move towards a fintech play of where the home loans and brokerages of home loans are coming in. So both the markets are big, and he's here with a good plan, I guess, and he's making all this right strides. So yeah, I will not take him lightly. That's a summary of it, and they will be able to create a disruption and add value.
I have a feeling they will do a huge impact. We all have to work together. At the end of the day, as I said at the beginning of the thing, collectively everything could be achieved. Individually, success will never come to us, be it your internal team or your external working partners, whoever it is, channel partners or you guys, digital companies. I think we all should do it together and then make everybody happy, including the home buyers also. Absolutely. So going back to Mr. Samrat, how much time will we need to be invested to help digital marketing effort improve my Google rankings? How often do we need to evaluate this in this digital revolution? And where things change, they say by the day, I say by the minute actually. Can you throw some light, please, Samrat?
Yes, sir. So it is again quite subjective, I would say. Depends on what's the goal. Like, for example, if you're looking at a organic marketing or an inorganic marketing. When I say inorganic, it's like a paid marketing. So on Google rank, so you have only those many slots available, and you have to target the best keyword that you feel that you should be at it. Like if in case I'm looking at a 2 BHK in Bannerghatta, so I have to be there because I have a 2 BHK which is in Bannerghatta and it is there for sale. So I cannot miss on those kind of keywords, right? So and for that I have to be there. So that means I have to pay, even for that matter, if I have to pay a certain amount of cost per clicks to the tune of 20, 30, or even nowadays real estate has become very competitive and sometimes it goes up to 300 as well. So that is so again, as I said, it depends on the goal. Now, when it comes to inorganic, the organic part where I'm looking at generating my brand presence over a period of time and I want to be there, like for example, real estate developers of India or real estate developers in Mumbai, real estate developers in Bangalore or flats in Bannerghatta, where I'm targeting to be there for a while because I have a lot of inventory available into that particular location, or I have a brand which is established in that particular location, and I don't want to take a risk on it. Then it depends on the kind of competitiveness which is there in the market. Nowadays, you majorly compete with a lot of aggregators because a lot of aggregators have a good amount of content in terms of number of properties, like a 99 acres vis-a-vis a Magic Bricks or a housing would anywhere have more than 100 or 200 properties in Bannerghatta compared to a developer, right? So that is where we compete on. So that is the perspective. So generally, if I have to, and then we have to do a reverse engineering to understand what kind of task and what kind of routine work that has to be taken care on daily level to eventually achieve a goal on weekly, monthly, and eventually quarterly and 6 monthly, and then keep on tracking our rankings. So that is, I would say, the practice, the logical approach that should be taken. And getting on the ranking can be completely dependent on the competitiveness, as I said. So sometimes it might be, even if you're ranking on 100 or a second page or a third page, we can look at, comparatively looking at coming to the first page over a period of 3 months or 6 months, completely depending on the kind of the aggressiveness with the word keyword that we have targeted on. So that would be the practice that I would say should be taken care.
Thank you. Thank you, Samrat. Let me now know, because we have exactly another 15 minutes. Am I right, Sapnaji?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to go for a generic question. So this time I will go in the order that I started. No, traditional media touch points versus digital. No, what is the future going to be, considering the digital media is also saturated? Personally, I feel with the pandemic taking center spot in the last 2 years, the work from home culture did a more favor to the digital spends. Actually, this has played a major role, with marketeers plotting their spends more in digital platform to reach their target audience. Print to outdoor spends have dropped drastically. The total spend across media in India estimated to cross 1 lakh crore in 2022 as far as digital platform is concerned, even as digital is set to overtake TV as the largest advertising medium in 22, accounting for close to about 45% share of the total pie, said the latest annual forecast by Group M. So how do you feel how internet browsing on your palm is influencing? That's what the subject given to us. Brand building today, must-haves for future-ready digital marketeers, and industry landscape for the next 5 to 7 years. Basically, because I've taken a larger period, because I am positive that digital is going to be the end thing. So I ask Fanindra to represent, followed by Mukesh.
Right. So I feel digital marketing is a play between 4 very important, kegs to the machine: content, media, data, and tech. I think for the success of any campaign, all of these 4 aspects need to be taken care of, right? And your question as to the next 5 to 7 years, I think I'm not sure. I don't really agree that the whole digital marketing is saturated. I feel that somewhere we're going wrong, or somewhere we're missing one of the pieces to which it is not becoming very effective, because the number of people are the same. They are using digital more, but our audience is the same, right? So I feel
maybe, sorry to interrupt here, maybe all the panelists, if you all want to reduce that to maybe 2 to 3 years, you guys can do it. I felt that we should do it for a longer period, because this is how it happened with the print and rest other media touch points. Since you guys are all digital experts, if you want to cut down this to even 1 to 2 years, it's fine with me.
I think it's okay to see like a 5-year.
Okay, go ahead. If you can crisply conclude, then I'll go to Mukesh, followed by Ankit.
Yeah, so I feel like the four aspects just need to be taken off and done very, very sharply in terms of content, media, data, and tech.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Mukesh, your take.
Yeah, Sriniji, you right. The market is already saturated. If you talk about real estate, it's already saturated. When there's new launch, it at least let's say I'm talking about the Pune city. When there is a new launch, it's only take 10 days to saturate the project in entire potential audience. So the competition is very high. Now the matters is like the copywriting, the kind of content we are using. It should be like there should be a touch, like the emotional touch. The potential audience should consume and should feel like sharing the content. So I think is content is the future.
Thank you. And Ankit ji, your turn.
So I kind of agree with what Fanindra and Mukesh ji pointed out. There are two things I'd like to add. I personally feel digital is not saturated, or for that matter, any medium is not saturated.
Yeah.
It all boils down to what Mukesh just said, the content that is being produced. So as long as the content that is being produced or the ads or the marketing that is being put out there is clever enough, is emotional enough for you to garner attention, then you've done your job as a brand. And what Fanindra pointed out, brands really need to exploit the space where data, technology, and content collide. That's where they can create memorable experiences for brands and people. So that's what we're looking at. And I think the future is there. And we all know, we've heard it hundreds of times, content is king. And that still stands. And the crisper content we can make, the more chances we have to stand out.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the big man, Govind. How much money you want to make? 4,800 into 5 and share it with us. Call us for a party. Go ahead.
No, sir. These are the sales I've done for the clients. All the money has not come. Only
love you, man.
Yeah. So whenever we get it, we'll definitely throw a party. So I believe, sir, the question that everybody is asking with Fanindra and Mukesh, what they said, the saturation, I do not agree. I believe we're just getting started. This is the first layer of digital that we are just exploring. We already have the metaverse and what is going to happen with the blockchain coming in. Those universes are going to take a different shape to the whole thing. But saturation is not the word I would use. I agree to what Ankit mentioned. Content, definitely yes, but I don't think just content is good enough. Like I personally say that, what Cred is trying to do with all the Tanmay Bhatt's ad, I don't think that is leaving a recall beyond a point of what Cred is doing. So in today's market, I always say to my team, if Piyush Pandey was born in today's market, nobody would have known today who Piyush Pandey was, right? So he would have struggled to create his own identity in today's time. Because in today's time, it's not just the content, but it's the consistency with which we are really traveling with our brand messaging or product messaging that would really matter. It is no more about one or two viral ads because of what recall or the time we are able to remember a certain thing. That window has shortened. So we have to be consistently putting ourselves out in different form of mediums where content is coming, where it could be an online article, it could be a viral video, it could be a normal insertion, it could be a normal video interview, but the consistent way of coming out with content on different mediums with very sharp messaging, that is what that matters today. Coming from what Mukesh said in terms of content, in real estate, I believe it is the whole game is going to shift towards how you are really coming out with the USPs. The typical communication that I can save you this money or this product is coming at this cost is not going to be the future. What is the USP? Why should the customer choose your product over the others? How do we effectively put it out? That's the future going to be about, and how consistently we do it. So yeah, that's where my answer would be, sir.
Yeah, well, just to add to that, I know that initially the big idea is developed, and then subsequently the creative guys generally try to adapt into various touch points. Invariably, the space available in digital is a little bit constrained in terms of how you want to convey the big ideas. Do you have any case studies where you have done such a thing which has produced humongous results?
Sir, so I will be honest, since we operate in real estate space specifically, our play is more hyper-local. right? We do not go about tom-tomming into the whole pan-India market or a whole of a city. We know that, for a particular project to sell or a brand to really create an impact, it's a certain catchment areas where we do it. But yes, where the messaging has played a very important role, we have had a very fair case study of late where a product where it was selling 5 to 6 units per month, how we catapulted the momentum for the whole project to 40 to 50 per month for the consistently 6 months, right? So it was a pure play of how customer was perceiving that project before and how it started perceiving it after, because of the communication play, the way we created the differentiator. And yes, storytelling where by the way of curiosity. See, in digital window, you do not have time of 1 minute, 2 minutes all the time. Right. And for real estate, it is not there. It is that 3 seconds where you write something where customer get curious, they inquire. And after inquiry, how do we take the journey that on the call, what is it that we should say that they end up at the site? Rest is a cakewalk of a sort if you have the right proposition. So the content, which is not just coming out of the video format, but how it is causing an inquisitiveness for customers to respond to it, to increase the CTR to begin with, and then quality, where they understand that, okay, this is it, what I want, and they confirm on the call that, yes, this is what I'm interested in. So yeah, we've had this scenario where we helped a big developer. He's a very old developer of real estate with 60 years of experience, but he was struggling with a project in a catchment area called Virar, the developer called Evershine. And we did a few things where these results came in. So yeah, that's the kind of impact we are able to create. But yeah, like the FMCG guys who create a pan-India impact, we are not that fortunate. We don't get those opportunities. We are limited to the areas that we play around for a product.
Thank you, Govind. Now, finally, I'll just wrap it up with Tiwari ji. Could you please throw some light on that question, please? Over to you.
Yeah, hi, sir. I would go by the thought that the content and the communication depends on the kind of the product that you have to market. Like whether it's an impulsive buy, unlike real estate, is not an impulsive buy. It's a very thoughtful decision that everyone takes. Whether it's an investment or you can say whether it's an end use. So now it is very important when it comes to saturation. I would say technology is never going to saturate. Digital marketing is also about technologies, right? So now if you see everyone, you have to understand, one should understand as a marketer, what is the routine of a person that I'm getting into with respect to his digital behavior. Like nowadays, people don't go to a taxi stand to take a taxi or an auto, but people don't actually go to a normal shop. They actually go on Amazon or probably a Flipkart to that matter, or doing some shopping or nowadays people don't go to a grocery shop. They go to probably a Big Bazaar or probably DMart, or for that matter, eventually Nature's Basket or Nature's Fresh, those kind of places. So all these places are the things where you actually get into a routine of a customer. So if a person is actually interested in a real estate in a Bannerghatta, and if he's traveling by Ola near Bannerghatta, if he's taking an Uber near that, and if a person is actually taking going to a shopping near Shoppers Stop in that location. So all of these so the top of mind recall for that particular customer for Bannerghatta should be a person who's marketing that particular product. And with technology and the kind of access to these platforms, which these platforms are already given, like we have recently submitted a case study in the campaign in the kind of awards that we have done, wherein we have actually gone ahead and gone to all these touch points of the consumers, wherein we have created not only the awareness but also a kind of inquisitiveness about the product, and then eventually leading to a conversions. So that is something that I believe, or as a marketer, we should keep in mind while creating the media mix or the media plan when we actually conceptualize a product and then define on the numbers that we are going to achieve over a period of 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, or 6 months for that matter. But eventually, these are the things that I think should be taken care while creating the media mix. And this would not lead you to a saturation point at any moment of time, because you are actually having multiple medias touching a person with his generic routine. We are not going to touch base with anyone where he's not present on. If he's utilizing Ola as an app, then we are going to touch base with him. Otherwise, we are not touching. That is, I believe, one should keep in mind as a marketer.
Thank you, Samrat. Only one final thing. Any two of you can answer this. Maybe Samrat and Govind can answer this. This digital sale, Apple commercial, which is making a bit of a huge uproar as far as digital marketers are concerned. Will it impact or there will be a way around as we always find a jugaad?
So to start with, what I would say is, technology and OEMs, as they as a spokesperson, I would not say the name of the person from Facebook, said that it is not a privacy marketing, it is pricing marketing for that video that they have created, or the ATT that they have come up with.
But it's a brilliant one. It's a TBWA client, so it has to be brilliant.
Absolutely, sir. And the thought is completely clearly conveyed as well, and people are getting into it. But as a digital marketer, I feel that it is very important for us to also not get into the places that we should not be at, right? For example, if I don't want to be in someone's personal place, and where he does not want me to be there, it does not make sense to be there, right? So it is just
go in 30 seconds for you. Then because it's 13:20, Swapnaji will be waiting.
So, sir, to be honest, it's been 1 year since Facebook, Google team both have been struggling. We've been continuously in touch with them, and they've been doing multiple sessions on this particular topic, where how they're almost finding it difficult to play around this issue. And Apple has done it very strategically to help to actually harm both the competitors. And it is helping them as well. The idea remains here, it is impacting us. Our reach from the Apple users, or the conversations that we could do before them, the CPLs that we were putting before, all those things are taking a hit. And it is not something that, it is in our control. It is a Facebook, Google algorithms and other third-party platforms or programmatic platforms which are controlling it. They all are struggling, and they are finding ways around it. And everything so far has been only temporary stitch. So yes, it is having an impact.
Thank you. And Sapnaji, over to you. Before I conclude, I feel that all of us should get together collectively at sometimes whenever you guys are here. And if you need any help on conducting any disruption days, anything for you, I'm always available for you guys. Thank you, Sapnaji. Thank you, Triptiji, for your wonderful
Thanks a lot, sir.
Invitation. And we hope to see you all soon.
Yes, it was a very interesting discussion indeed. We covered almost all aspects of digital marketing, and we have got some very interesting questions as well. One is about the privacy and data sharing regulations, which are going to become even stricter going forward. So how is this going to impact the digital marketing for brands? So starting from you, Fanindra, your one sentence, how do you see this impacting digital marketing? Is it a big impact?
I think it's definitely going to impact, just as Govind mentioned that you're seeing the hit. But I think eventually there will be touch points. Eventually there will be ways, I feel, to reach the right audience.
Okay, Mukesh, your views on that?
I completely agree with Govind. This will be an impact. Yeah, we can't reach potential audience. Like there are some ratio where we missed our potential audience.
Right. Govind, what do you have to say, about this?
So, Sapna, as I mentioned, last 1 year, it has been of a tsunami of a sort in terms of for both the Facebook, Google team, which is the highest. 80% of our portfolio money goes to them. It's like we work for them. So they are struggling. They are telling us, ways around it. That's what I mentioned. We are seeing the differences in terms of reaching out to those customers. And they are the important customers. They are the high-end users. They are the people who have to be targeted. And the numbers have started changing to what they were before. And so far, we're still waiting from the algorithms to improvise to make us reach to them or some other ways. But as of now, it is definitely a long-term impact that we are witnessing already. It is already in the motion. Okay. So nothing to predict for the future. We are already seeing the difference.
Okay, so we are already seeing the difference in digital marketing, numbers. Ankit, what do you have to add to that? You're on mute.
I completely agree with what most of the speakers have said here, and there are definitely issues in terms of communicating properly with Apple users and flowing back to us. Of course, they've come up with the short-term solutions like server-side API and all to counteract that. But of course, this will take some time before a potential solution can be reached, and Apple users can be targeted very differently. So let's wait and watch. But of course, there is an impact.
Okay, so let's wait and watch. Samrat, what do you have to say? There are certain other means that might come forward.
Yeah, absolutely, Sapnaji. So as I said, OEMs might have certain changes, or there would be certain changes as the technology is evolving. Their softwares or their operating systems might allow certain things, might not allow certain things. But I believe that would be in the interest of the digital world, I believe, and I believe there would be further better things to work upon after this kind of change, as there is always a correction in share market and then things go better. I'm taking it up in that way, that these corrections would always help things to be more focused and more targeted, I believe.
It's more like a correction, or the industry getting more consolidated, more organized in terms of how we are approaching the clients. Srini sir, last question for all entire panel. This question comes about next phase of digital marketing. One trend that pandemic has induced in digital marketing. Srini sir, do you see anything that pandemic has added to digital marketing?
See, pandemic has done a lot of favors. That's what I would say. I wouldn't take, because I'm a person coming from TBW, I never felt that take anything negative. I take everything positive. Even there is no sale for 2 months, you should not bother about that. Sales will happen. Same case, pandemic has done a lot of favors to us in terms of work from home. And people have a lot of time. The virtual tours of, we have sold, when I was in SNN, sold close to about, say, 150 units during pandemic in about 3-4 months by just virtual tour of this. So everything is positive, but I think since pandemic is waning away now and life is coming back to normal, I can definitely say that seeing Bangalore's traffic. So it has come to the olden days. If you want to travel 10 kilometers, you'll have to be prepared for 2.5 hours for sure. So pandemic has done a lot of favors, and it will continue to do. And digital, I'm not bothered at all, basically, because that's going to be the end thing.
Okay, so one
rest other media will be there. They have to support, be it print or outdoor or whatever it is. But one more thing I would just like to add, just 2 seconds. More than all this digital, outdoor, everything, I think all you guys have to Google search something called empathy marketing, and that will give you a lot of insights how you'll have to respect the home buyers, because builders have got scant respect for home buyers. That needs to improve from every side. So all you guys, digital guys, when you go around, pitch for it, put some empathy marketing budget, call all those booked customers, talk to them nicely, do something nicely. So this will definitely, this is a takeaway from my side.
Okay.
This
So
is what I
marketing
at SNM Builders, so continue to do that.
Empathy marketing is what Mr. Srinivasan is doing, has induced in the digital marketing for brands. Fanindra, what according to you pandemic has added? What trend has it added to digital marketing?
I think it's opened the world for collaboration for digital marketing. Just as Srini also mentioned at some point that, we can, 1 + 1 is 11. So I think we're able to collaborate, and everybody is open to more collaboration. I think that itself is going to make digital marketing all the way better.
Collaboration is what Mr. Fanindra Jain is saying has brought to digital marketing segment. Mukesh, what is your take on that?
Yeah, right. Video call VCs have increased like tremendously. We can hire talent from anywhere, work from home, and yeah, there was no effect on real estate, and it was going fine.
Absolutely.
We have sold like 100+ units in lockdown, so everything was good. Nothing was like hampering sales.
Okay. Okay. So in fact, as you rightly mentioned, I think pandemic, the one trend that it was to give a boost to digital marketing. Govind, what do you have to say? What trend has pandemic induced in digital marketing?
So for me, the word consistently remains disruption. So everything, the way we looked at it before, we had to revisit it, each and every aspect of it. And we have to look at how each and every aspect is getting disrupted today. and what is the long-term impact it will have for the future. So there could be a few behavioral change that would come for a temporary purpose of 1 or 2 years, but which will be the long-lasting one. We had to really observe it and prepare ourselves for the same. So I believe that's a space that we had literally had to look out for.
That's right. Out of the box thinking is, I think this is what it has taught us. And, in fact, even in our marketing is something now that we are doing. Samrat, quickly, what do you have to say how pandemic has changed digital marketing?
I believe the uncertainties have actually brought a lot of certainties in taking decisions. Nowadays, people take a lot of decisions thoughtfully, which was a bit impulsive earlier and leading to cancellations and, regretting about things. But now, due to the thought process change during the pandemic and because of the uncertainties that happened, now people are more certain about taking calls with respect to anything, I would say, in their behavior. And that is the reason I believe it is a better time for a digital marketer to focus on if we are able to target right guys, then we would be eventually getting the right fruits out of them and eventually getting good conversions on the digital front.
Decision making has become better. People are making better decisions and quicker decisions. Ankit, what is your finally how do you see pandemic, what kind of trend it has brought to digital marketing?
So I personally feel that it's not just digital marketing.
I think we've lost Ankit. Yes, Srini sir, one last word.
Only one final advice to everybody. Please, all of you have a backdrop like Govind. That's why he's making a lot of money. Enter only when you have $1 billion idea. I love that, man. Love you.
Okay. Fantastic. I think those were some very motivating words from all our speakers here, and they shared their experiences and also how the digital marketing aspect is changing and how pandemic has brought good or bad to the digital marketing. Challenges remain, but yes, we are now thinking out of the box. I believe Ankit is here with us. Ankit, your last word, and then we'll close the panel.
I'm sorry, I'm disconnected. Just to add to that, I believe overall there has been a shift. It's not just digital marketing, and that shift in terms of how the audience is consuming things has actually changed the way marketers are doing things. So it's the whole point about unlearning what was. So we've kind of everyone across the board has tried to
saying, and it's not only the marketing which has changed, even the consumer behavior is now different from what it used to be earlier. So fantastic. Thank you everyone for sharing your viewpoints and sharing your opinions on this very topical subject that everyone has been talking about. Thank you everyone. Thank you Srinivasan for
thank you guys. Love you all.
Thank you everyone. Fanindra, thank you Mukesh. Thanks Govind, Samrat,
keep loving
and Ankit
everybody
for being here part of this session. So that was one very interesting session. Lot of questions that we had from our audience, but we will definitely take them offline with our speakers.